Good afternoon. My name is Arthur Mitchell. I'm chair of the Government Relations Committee, and on behalf of our committee, the ACCJ and the Keizai Doyukai, I'd like to welcome all of you to today's meeting. I have a few housekeeping items. First of all, I'd like everyone to turn off your cell phones, please. I'd like to note that today's meeting is on the record, but we will not have the usual question and answers. The secretary's under a very tight schedule, so we would like to welcome her in just a moment, but I'd like to finish by mentioning that there are membership opportunities for the ACCJ. We're a very active organization, and we encourage you to join. So anyone who's not a member can sign up outside. We also have a charity ball coming up on December 5th. And that will be at the Intercontinental Hotel. So we encourage you to all come out for that. Also, we have a new service, an idea box that allows you to give suggestions to the staff, which will help us plan our president, Jay Panazeki.
Thank you, everyone, and good afternoon. Before introducing our very special guest speaker, I want to welcome our great friends here in Japan, and for all you have done so far to strengthen the U.S.-Japan relationship. Now, it is a tremendous honor to welcome our special guest speaker. Rarely do we have the opportunity to hear from somebody who has reached the highest echelons of the private and public sectors, and that is precisely what U.S. Secretary of Commerce Penny Pritzker has done. Secretary Pritzker was sworn in as the 38th Secretary of Commerce by Vice President Joe Biden on June 26 last year. She is a civic and business leader with more than 25 years of experience in the real estate, hospitality, senior living, and financial services industries. She has served on the boards of the Hyatt Hotels Corporation, William Wrigley Jr. Company, Marmon Group, and the LaSalle Bank Corporation. The breadth and depth of experience she brings to her current role from her tremendous and highly respected successes in business across sectors means great things, not only for the ACCJ as a business organization, but for the United States and our many partners in Japan and around the globe. The benefits of having a champion for business and one who understands how businesses and governments can work together most effectively to achieve sustained economic growth at the helm of the U.S. Department of Commerce cannot be overstated. Without further ado, please join me in extending a very warm ACCJ and Keizai Doyukai welcome to U.S. Secretary of Commerce Penny Pritzker.
Jay, thank you so much for such a kind and personal introduction. I really appreciate it. I am so excited to be back in Tokyo. I love Japan, and I've visited many times, both with my family on vacation and on business. And actually, this country holds a very special place in my heart. My father was stationed here in the 1950s while he was here in the Navy. And he fell in love with the country. And while I was young, he used to tell stories all the time about his extraordinary stay here in Japan. It really had a big influence on me. And now, here I am, I'm back on my first trade mission to Asia. It's really terrific to be here. I also want to thank the American Chamber of Commerce of Japan and the Keizai Doyukai. Thank you for hosting us, and thank you for being so generous to our delegation. Together, your two organizations represent nearly 2,000 American and Japanese companies, and you share common goals to improve the business climate in Japan and to strengthen the economic ties between our two countries. President Obama shares these aspirations. My friend, Ambassador Caroline Kennedy, shares these aspirations. And she works every day side by side with the Commerce Department's Foreign Commercial Service officers stationed in Japan to support them. And the delegation of top executives from the 20 American companies who are with me here in Tokyo this week support these aspirations. We are all committed to working with you to build deeper business-to-business ties between American and Japanese private sectors. The 20 American companies on our trade mission are leaders and innovators in the energy and healthcare sectors. Our delegation includes both large multinational corporations as well as small and medium-sized enterprises. All told, our companies represented here today have a combined annual sales of $300 billion annually. Regardless of their size or focus, these firms all share a desire to do more business here in Japan, to develop new and deeper relationships, and to make investments in this market for the long term. Our job at the U.S. Department of Commerce is to open doors, to nurture connections between American and Japanese businesses, and to encourage investment in one another's communities. That is the core mission of our Foreign Commercial Service. Each day, this team of professionals, which works out of our U.S. embassies all over the world, helps American companies navigate foreign markets and sell their goods and services abroad, thereby increasing opportunities globally for our businesses and yours. I want to recognize our excellent Foreign Commercial Service team here in Japan, led by Andrew Wailagala. So, Andrew, are you here in the room? There he is. Thank you. So, if anyone in this room is looking for a U.S. partner or to meet someone from our delegation, our commercial service staff should be your first point of contact. So, I want to begin our conversation today by making perfectly clear that the United States of America is and will always be a Pacific nation. Based on our shared history as mutually supportive allies, our commitment to deepening economic ties to Japan should not be a surprise to anyone. During the early days of this administration, President Obama made a deliberate and strategic decision to deepen American engagement in the Asia-Pacific, the world's fastest-growing region. Some may question whether the administration's rebalance to Asia will persist and thrive as we address crises and opportunities elsewhere around the world. But let me be very clear. The United States has made a long-term commitment to the Asia-Pacific region. No matter what crises emerge next, our focus in this region will remain a centerpiece of the Obama administration's foreign policy. And beyond having great allies across the region, devoting more time, energy, and resources to Asia is just good business. Today, this region is home to nearly 60% of the world's GDP, the world's fastest-growing economies, half of the world's population, and an emerging middle class that is hungry for American products and services. We know that a strong relationship between the United States and Japan is an anchor for the region. Overall, the administration's rebalance is focused on security, prosperity, democratic governance, and human rights. As America's chief commercial advocate, my emphasis is on the economic dimension of the rebalance. This dimension involves deepening trade and investment ties with existing partners, especially Japan. It also requires working multilaterally to build both the physical and the soft infrastructure that is necessary for the growth of America's emerging partners in the 21st century. And it optimize your mix of energy imports, and increase your energy conservation. And American companies want to and can help. In fact, the companies on our trade mission bring critical expertise to improving energy efficiency, to expanding the use of renewables, to strengthening the smart grid, and to developing safe and secure nuclear power. Our government and our business community want to expand our commercial partnerships and help address your energy security needs. At the same time, we are joined on this trip by leading American healthcare companies. Today, Japan boasts a $153 billion market for medical and health products. Japan's health expenditures are second only to the United States. Japan is looking for ways to care for a rapidly aging population with state-of-the-art technologies in a cost-effective manner, and American firms want to be more present in this market. Our cutting-edge, life-saving technologies can benefit Japan, but too often obstacles stand in the way. I am pleased to report that the Department of Commerce and Japan's Ministry of Labor, Health, and Welfare are engaged in discussions to remove regulatory hurdles in the healthcare sector. U.S. companies are prepared to help Japan improve its health IT, health treatments, health maintenance, and overall health outcomes. But we must address the market access challenges. The business leaders who have joined me this week are committed to the Japanese market. They are helping carry forward a tradition of economic partnership between the United States and Japan that dates back more than 150 years. In 1858, our two countries signed our first commercial treaty, which enabled Japan to access more modern technology, expanded Japan's economy, and laid the foundation for Japan's integration into the global economic system. So began the U.S.-Japan economic relationship. Japan is America's fourth largest trading partner, with total bilateral trade valued at $290 billion last year. Japan is the second largest source of foreign direct investment into the United States, with a cumulative total of $344 billion invested by Japanese companies as of 2013. The United States accounted for $123 billion in accumulated direct investment in Japan as of 2013. Indeed, the economic and commercial ties that bind our two countries are clearly strong and thriving. But we live in a world of rising powers and emerging markets, and we cannot sit idly by. A long history of partnership is not enough. We need a vision and an economic architecture that helps build our future. The cornerstone of that architecture is the Trans-Pacific Partnership, or TPP. As everyone in this room well knows, we are in the final stages of negotiating the TPP, and it is time for all of us to be bold. Incremental steps will not lead us to the high standard outcome that we all agreed to pursue when we joined the negotiations. We are making good progress in our agriculture and our auto negotiations, but we still have tough issues to work through. Strong outcomes in both of these areas are critical if we are to achieve the support needed at home to get this deal approved by our Congress. Prime Minister Abe has eloquently described the economic and strategic importance of the TPP, and I could not agree more. Let us not forget the opportunity presented by completing the TPP is profound. By the year 2030, we expect there to be 2.7 billion middle-class consumers across the Asia-Pacific region. Concluding this agreement will give businesses and workers in both the United States and Japan, as well as the other 10 members, better access to these consumers. And it will give those consumers better access to high-quality goods and services, ranging from food to healthcare to entertainment. Concluding the agreement will give manufacturers, farmers, and ranchers in both of our countries access to markets on terms that allow them to compete fairly. Concluding this agreement will allow us to shape our shared future in a manner that befits our shared values and ensures that the benefits of trade and a global economy are shared broadly. From a pure economic perspective, the benefits of TPP for the United States and Japan will be substantial. The Peterson Institute estimates that Japan's annual GDP gains from TPP will be close to $100 billion in 2025. Export gains for Japan are projected to be in the neighborhood of $140 billion by 2025. For the United States, the Peterson Institute estimates that the real income benefits of TPP will be close to $77 billion per year. And by 2025, a concluded deal would generate an additional $123 billion in U.S. exports. But in focusing on the economic benefits, we must not overlook the fact that trade policy and foreign policy are inextricably linked. And it is difficult to overstate the strategic importance of countries with 40% of global GDP declaring with one voice that the rules of doing business in the 21st century are changing for the better and will reflect the emerging economic issues that we all face. In this effort, we can declare a shared vision on a range of important issues, including protecting intellectual property, dealing with the role of state-owned enterprises in our economies, and promoting digital trade. So let me be clear. If we do not set the rules of the road on these issues, our competitors surely will. The stakes for the work before us have never been clearer. And we cannot afford to sit on the sidelines. We are now in the final stages of the negotiation, which is a challenging time for any negotiation, let alone a negotiation involving 12 parties and issues of deep economic and societal importance. We have an enormous opportunity before us to conclude a high-standard deal that sets the rules for years to come and adds momentum and energy to the global trading system at a critical moment in history. Change is never easy, and we know what our shared future should look like. It should include more trade missions like this one. It should include more new partnerships and joint ventures. It should mean new market access for our companies and workers, and it should mean greater prosperity for our citizens and deeper ties between allies. The time is now to resolve the outstanding issues and reach an ambitious pact that advances our shared vision of more trade, more commerce, and more cooperation throughout the Asia-Pacific region. The Trans-Pacific Partnership is the next chapter in a story of economic partnership that began over 150 years ago and continues today, all part of the effort to draw our countries closer together. To echo what President Obama said here in Tokyo 5 years ago. There must be no question the United States is a Pacific nation. And through our partnership with Japan, through our cooperation with the nations of the Asia-Pacific region, we will continue to strengthen and sustain our leadership in this vitally important part of the world. With the help of our private sector leaders, with the commitment of our political leaders, we will keep both the United States and Japan open for business and open for more business with each other. So thank you all for your work to reaffirm our strong commercial bonds and for doing your part to deepen those ties every single day. Thank you.
Bring to Japan, the United States, and the Asia-Pacific region. Change may be difficult, but with the example you're leading here in Japan today and during your trip to Asia, it certainly is doable. So thank you very much for sharing your time with us. We'd like to present you with a certificate of appreciation for all that you've done and will continue to do on behalf of the